Thank you very much, everybody.
Make a way out. Can you just
We're doing very well.
Let's
We are
go.
doing very well, and we're doing very well, probably as well as anybody has ever done with Russia. And there's been no president ever as tough as I have been on Russia, because there's never been a president as tough on Russia as I have been.
He has a new piece titled, "This is the Moment of Truth for Republicans." Gentlemen, good morning. Good to have you with us.
Good morning.
I want to start by reading, George, an excerpt from your piece, if I could. George writes, quote, "America's child president had a play date with a KGB alumnus who surely enjoyed providing daycare. He speaks English as though it is a second language that he learned from someone who learned English last week. So it is usually difficult to sift meanings from Trump's word salads, but in Helsinki he was, for him, crystal clear about feeling no allegiance to the intelligence institutions that work at his direction and under leaders he chose. Trump has a weak man's banal fascination with strong men whose disdain for him is evidently unimaginable to him. And yes, he only perfunctorily pretends to have priorities beyond personal aggrandizement, but still hidden sources of the behavior of this sad, embarrassing wreck of a man." And it goes on like that. George Will, I believe you wrote that piece before the president clarified. He believes he clarified yesterday. What did you make, not just of the initial event with President Putin on that stage where he refused to defend the United States of America, but his attempted clarification yesterday?
Well, I think the president this morning is saying, you see, I told you the truth is overrated because I told you the truth in Helsinki. And he had to spend yesterday taking back what he really meant to say and what he in fact did say. It's hilarious to see Senator Rubio and then Senator Portman come out and use the word clarified as to what the president just did. The fact that the Republicans on Capitol Hill are terrified. They have individual terror and collective terror. The individual terror is that they will be individually attacked by the president, thereby costing them a third of their vote. The collective terror is that if Congress seems to turn on the president, the Republicans in Congress, he will attack Congress, thereby depressing the turnout, thereby costing them the House, certainly, and perhaps the Senate.
George, you talk about hidden sources for the president's behavior. Well, the running line now among Republicans seems to be that the president's ego is so fragile, that he is so insecure about his election victory, that there's no way for him to separate that from the Russian attack. Based on what we saw Monday in Helsinki, what do you think? Do you think that it is that, or do you think that we're talking about something far more serious here in terms of some kind of quid pro quo, some kind of ill behavior here on behalf of the president's team?
Well, first, I think the president's insecurities go far beyond the election results and the fact that he lost the popular vote. I think he is the most insecure human being I've ever seen, and I think to understand him, you have to understand he feels out of his depth in every situation he's in. He doesn't understand the vocabulary of American government. He doesn't understand the conversations that are going on around him. It's like a 12-year-old in a room with people who specialize in quantum mechanics. He just is lost at all times.
President Trump, I just saw your press conference with President Putin, and it was embarrassing. I mean, you stood there like a little wet noodle, like a little fanboy. I mean, I was asking myself, when are you going to ask him for an autograph or for a selfie or something like that? I mean, you literally sold out at this press conference our intelligence community, our justice system, and worst of all, our country. You're the President of the United States. You shouldn't do that. I mean, what's the matter with you?